Good evening, everyone. I have been given the distinct honor and privilege to introduce our keynote speaker and the recipient of our Be the Difference Award, Kerry Kennedy. Kerry Kennedy is the daughter of the late Robert F. Kennedy, one of this country's most outstanding and outspoken human rights activists and advocates, and former U.S. Attorney General. But that is not Kerry's claim to fame. Although very much like her father, she too, in her own right, has been an outstanding civil rights and human rights activist. Fair and equal justice is the coat that she wears, tirelessly defending the human rights and civil rights of all people. So let me tell you just a little bit about her. Kerry Kennedy established the RFK Center for Human Rights in 1988 and has worked on diverse human rights issues such as children's rights, indigenous land rights, judicial independence, freedom of expression, ethnic violence, impunity, and issues pertaining to the environment. She has concentrated a lot of her efforts on women's rights, exposing injustices and educating the public about women's issues, particularly honor killings, sexual slavery, domestic violence, workplace discrimination, sexual assault, the abuse of prisoners, and much more. Kerry Kennedy has led over 40 human rights delegations to more than 30 countries. Most recently, her travels took her to the Gulf Coast and to Haiti. I had the pleasure of meeting and serving with Kerry on a panel discussion 2 years ago, and I was captivated by her stories of investigating, uncovering, and publicizing human indecency, human rights abuses, and this was both nationally and internationally. At that point, Kerry and I became friends. Kerry is an accomplished author, and her book, Speak Truth to Power: Human Rights Defenders Who Are Changing the World, has grown to include a photography exhibit which is now traveling on 4 continents, a play by Broadway playwright Ariel Dorfman, which has opened in 17 countries. She has an award-winning website, a PBS documentary film, and a 12-week education and toolkit for action now being taught to over 200,000 students worldwide. She has also authored another best-selling book, Being Catholic Now: Prominent Americans Talk About Change in the Church and the Quest for Meaning, where she has interviewed and spoken with many of the world-renowned human rights activists such as Desmond Tutu, the Dalai Lama, Marian Wright Edelman, and many others. She's formerly the executive director of the RFK Center for Human Rights and now a board member of that organization, but presently is chair of the Amnesty International Leadership Council and serves on several boards, including the Lawyers Committee for Human Rights, the Bloody Sunday Trust, and the Robert F. Kennedy Memorial. Kerry is an accomplished attorney, a member of the Massachusetts and DC Bar Associations. She is the mother of 3 daughters, Cara, Mariah, and Michaelia. But most of all, Kerry is an outstanding human being, and a human being who sincerely believes in defending the rights of all people. So to all of us here who share in that passion for peace and that passion for humanity, please join me in welcoming and honoring my colleague, my friend, and your friend now, Kerry Kennedy, this year's recipient of the Be the Difference Award. And the award reads, Holocaust and Human Rights Education Center presents this Be the Difference Award to Kerry Kennedy, October 20, 2010, with the quote, "Ultimately, America's answer to the intolerant man is diversity, the very diversity which our heritage of religious freedom has inspired." That quote is from Robert F. Kennedy and is inscribed on her award.
That's nice. That's beautiful.